Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week of Monday, August 19th through Sunday, August 25th, and this is 2024. So glad you're here. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if you're new, welcome for the first time. So I'll talk a little bit about the week's astrology and then go through our 7 cards from the tarot, and I'm using the Crow deck today, and then we'll end with an oracle card from Enchanted Blossoms. So as always, in a reading for the collective, it's a general reading, so take what resonates for you and leave the rest behind. So we have on that Monday, August 19th, a full moon in Aquarius. So we're in for good times with friends, innovation, philanthropy, doing something charitable for others, something very imaginative. Really, really good energy for that. And obviously that full moon affects, us all on the planet. And, we have that phrase lunacy. So, we want to watch out for that kind of getting carried away energy too. But it should be a good time for gathering with friends. So obviously that starts our week with the moon in Aquarius, and then we end again with the moon in Taurus, and we're still in that cycle of one week into the next, a fixed moon. So good times for structuring our lives, getting some things in place that we're happy with. So also on the 19th, we have Venus opposite Saturn. This is a busy day, and the Sun squaring Uranus and Jupiter squaring Saturn. These are the more difficult energies, particularly the squares. The opposites, well, it's not going to last that long. But when you have Venus, the planet of love and socializing and beauty and art and so forth, harmony, in opposition to Saturn, the taskmaster, you could imagine that might not be the most pleasant energy. So it's better if we take that energy that day, because again, we have the Sun squaring Uranus, so there could be sudden surprises. Things not going the way that we thought they were going to, and Jupiter also squaring Saturn could give us a sense of things just being a bit difficult that day. So we want to just try to be disciplined and focused and keep things calm and steady. Then on Thursday, the Sun enters Virgo. Be there for the next month, and then we have Venus squaring Mars. Well, when the Sun goes into Virgo, we're all going to be a bit more Virgo-like. We're going to be more wanting to serve other people, to focus on our health, it's a very grounded energy, so grounding ourselves in practical efforts, energies, tasks, things like that, taking care of the health. And then with the Venus squaring Mars, that'll pass pretty quickly. But that's where, we have the masculine and the feminine, perhaps having, a bit of a tight argument that day, feeling boxed in perhaps because of that squaring energy, or seeing things in different ways. So, it's better just to note that that's what the energy might be like. Maybe it'll bring something useful to light. So, all right, here's a point of view, here's another point of view, how were they different and how were they alike? And then finally on our Friday, the 23rd of August, we have Mercury sextiling Mars. That's a much easier energy. There's real communication and flow there. And because Mars has action and energy, it helps us with our curiosity, helps us to ask the right questions, to get information we need, maybe even to go places, short trips, because Mercury favors that as well. All right, so that's our astrological week. And for our cards, as I mentioned, we have the Crow deck this week that I'm using. And for the second week in a row, we don't have any majors. That's fairly unusual. And this time, we don't have all the elements. We have 3 of the 4. Air did not show up. We have several fire cards, several earth cards, and several of water, but just no air this time. All right, so we're starting our week on that full moon Aquarius week with the 9 of Cups. I've seen this called happiness. Sometimes it's associated with wanting too much, but I always see it as very positive. We have our crow here with things filling each cup, which I think, are things. We have some shiny things. We have fruits. We have flowers. We have some fish. And the big sunflowers in the background. So it's a really a pleasant energy and card that day. Could be overly emotional. Sometimes we're so happy we want to cry, thing like that, but generally good feelings. Then on our Tuesday, we switch from the water, the psychic, the intuitive, to the earthy, the practical, the pragmatic. And here we have the 2. So, often you will see a sort of infinity kind of sign or a yin-yang sort of energy to this card. And of course, we have that here. And it is about balance. All the 2s connect to the High Priestess, and that is a card that does like harmony. It can be very mysterious. It likes bringing in information that's esoteric for us to better understand. So with this one, it can be like struggling to find the balance. I mean, how do we bring perhaps a partnership, because it's a 2, or just some our own conflicting or inner energies into balance? So that can be some focus for our Tuesday. We stay with the earth energy for the next few days, for I guess 3 days in a row here. And so our 6 of discs, our pentacles, comes up next. And here you see a crow with scales, and again, more things that fish like to eat. Sometimes this card is called a success card. It can also be associated with having a lot and then making the choice to share or not share. Now I see, 6s is very generous, connected to the lovers, wanting others to be happy, sharing things. So the crow on top, the one sort of suspended in the air, seems to be keeping that balance by sharing with the crows who are, down on, it seems like a shoreline to me, perhaps there. So that's a good way to keep ourselves in harmony with the universal energies, is by being grateful for what we have and then sharing what we can. Staying with that earth energy, the next day, which is our Thursday, we're into the 7. So we've got the 2, the 6, and the 7. And the 7, here we see one crow in a tree with all his or her discs suspended there, kind of like in a nest. And this one frequently will have a person who's taking stock, a being taking stock of what he, she, they have. It's stopping for the moment. It's not counting your chickens before they hatch idea, but assessing what is there. Maybe making a plan to move forward. I associate 7s with the Chariot, with either solidifying the energy, prepping the energy to move forward, or very much ready to move forward. So it could be that kind of day of assessing and then where am I going next. Well, we stick to our little numerological sequence here because our next card is an 8, but we have switched elements and now we're into the fire. So we started with the water, the feminine, that's our Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday stayed with the feminine energy. By Friday, we're moving into our fire, and that will follow through on our Thursday as well. So here we have that wonderful 8. Also sunflowers in this one, and then we have some, I think perhaps they're poppies down there, the red flowers. the wands. You know, in this one, they almost seem to be coming at our crow. Usually you'll see a figure, everything from little cherubs to people, animals, whatever. But here with our crow, they seem to be coming toward the crow rather than going outward. But regardless, the card has a great deal of energy. It's going to be connected to what frequently, you know, the number 8, obviously, which frequently is the strength card in a deck. And so there's that sense of, what are my strengths? What am I comfortable with? What do I have that I might consider a deficit that I really could turn into a strength? Maybe it's something that others don't see as quite so socially acceptable, or something you've been told from family or teacher or someone in your life wasn't so acceptable, but actually could be a great source of strength for you. So big energy going out, could be very flirty, could be, you know, other things as well, but that's our energy for Friday. So it could be also a nice time to go out and enjoy, you know, that energy. On Saturday, that same fiery energy expresses in a different way. Now we're looking at the 10. So we've jumped from the 8 to the 10. And sometimes this one is seen as, all right, too much. Taking on too much of a burden, trying to hold on to too much energy, doing too much for other people. There's just an overall sense of too much. So our crow is efficient here, has, you know, the sticks bundled, or the wands bundled, but is flying fairly low. The way the wings are lifted might even give us an indication that it is a struggle. So is there something we can put down? And maybe it's already saying we've put that down, but it's definitely encouragement to do that if you haven't, to see what's too much and let something go. There's almost always that something that we've overburdened ourselves with that can be put down. And then we end our week with the 5 of Cups. And, you know, our crow looks a little bit dejected here, head kind of down, even though there's this beautiful, I'm going to call it a river, the wonderful trees, rocks in the background. And with this one, this frequently is the way it goes, that there'll be 3 knocked over cups. And that's where our creature, in this case, our crow, is focusing. But with a little shift in perspective, there are still 2 cups standing, and they're full. And they look good in terms of the energy they're containing. They can be connected to the Lover's card. So maybe letting something go that might appear to be disappointing, but really focusing again on our blessings, our gratitude, what really is emotionally, psychically, intuitively still working for us. So that's our week. Again, more emphasis on the feminine energies than on the masculine, though we do have a couple of fiery cards which brings in that masculine energy, but a lot of minor stuff. So we're flowing through things, and hopefully that gives us some space, knowing this, you know, will pass quickly, that will give us that space to relax a little bit more, you know, maybe do some garden, you know, work this week, or something that feels a little bit slower, a little bit more grounded, and lets things pass by. So we'll finish up with our oracle card from Enchanted Blossoms, and what came up today for us was generosity. So the plant is the honeysuckle, and our butterfly is the white admiral. With its sweet nectar reminding us of summers gone by, honeysuckle is mostly native to China. I'll give you that view here. More than half of the species is cultivated there. Its tendrils have been used to make ropes and baskets for centuries, and are still used for that purpose by hobbyists who enjoy working with natural materials. Honeysuckle bushes are used in gardens to attract hummingbirds and butterflies, and it can grow generously and voraciously. Carrying honeysuckle is thought to lift one's spirits and encourage generosity. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare writes, "Sleep thou, and I will wind thee in my arms. Fairies, be gone, and be always away. So doth the woodbine, the sweet honeysuckle gently in twist. Living generously and helping others can give you a sense of purpose and lead to a longer, healthier life. Be giving with yourself first. Find little things that will lift not only your mood, but your soul. This card may be making an appearance because you've been so wrapped up in the day-to-day grind that you have forgotten to take care of yourself. And I think our overall energy in the States is definitely about that. It's easy to do. So commit to doing something that makes you happy every day. This is not about indulging every whim, but doing a few small things that make you feel good without taking anything from others. Once you are giving yourself joy, you can begin sharing it with others. Be altruistic with your money, your possessions, or your time. The more you give, the more you have to give. All right, beloveds, I'm wishing you the best week possible. Again, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And if you need a personal reading, there'll be information. Be happy to explain more about that if you email me or ask in the comments. And please also consider sharing, liking, and subscribing if you haven't already. I'll see you again in 7 days.